ladies and gentlemen, here we go, outside the square circle. We got a family member with us, Steve Upsher. He ain't a guest no more. He's a family member with us. So we all gonna be talking about the Danny Garcia versus Keith. I don't know if I should call him one time because it ain't been one time in a minute. But Keith one-time Thurman fight. We're gonna have Steve Upsher come in and he's gonna give us his take on what he thinks and what he sees in the fight. And I'll start off with Frank. I'll let Frank start us off, and then we'll toss it to Upsher, and I'll be last to give my commentary on the fight, Keith Thurman versus Danny Garcia. First off, I want to ask you, Frank, who do you like, and tell us why?
It's going into the fight when it was first signed, it was really 50-50 to me. I felt like they both did a lot of things well, but very different things well. They're just such different fighters. I will say it took me up to maybe 3 days ago when I finally picked a solid winner. I was going back and forth. One day it was Garcia, one day it was Thurman. But to me, I gotta go Keith Thurman. I think he's shown us more at 47. I think he's the smarter fighter. I think Danny has better timing, but his footwork coming forward isn't all that great, and I think Keith Thurman knows that. I think he's going to fight more using lateral movement. I think he's going to box Danny from the outside and come home with a unanimous decision. Steve's making faces at me, man. Steve doesn't agree with me. What are you thinking?
I see they got you fooled with the hype. They put him in there with the right guys to make it look like he's a consummate boxer, but he's not that. When you see him in there with Danny Garcia, you'll see that he's not that consummate boxer that you think. Like he fought Collazo, and you see he couldn't hit Collazo. Like he's not going to be able to hit Danny with that shit. Like what's going to happen is that you're going to see like the thing. Like you know how they say amateur experience doesn't really matter. Like Danny was a sharp amateur. He was one of those. You ever see how Broner throws punches behind his back sometimes? You know when he's playing around.
Yeah, he throws. Yeah.
Like, Danny was that type of fighter. Like I've known Danny since he was about 13, 14 years old. Danny was that type of fighter. He has that. And they started training him to be the fighter that he is now. Like focusing on his power, but he still has that ability to counter and do those swift little moves, which his name is Swift.
Yeah.
Like, he does those swift little moves. Like, it's not like they think that he's not looking when he's punching. No. It's kind of like when you're playing Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And you lock in on your target, you can start talking to somebody in the background and hit the button.
Yeah.
Like you know where it's gonna land already.
Yeah.
That's the same way. Like he's confident in the punch. You know what I mean? It's not like he's just looking away like, oh shit, he's just throwing a punch.
Well, and the thing,
it's not a lucky punch if you do it all the time.
Yeah. The thing is, what I've always. I agree. And what I've always said with that is people act like he's looking away. He's looking down at the fighter's feet to see where he's positioned. If you ever really see Danny Garcia throw that left hook, he's not just looking down for no reason. He's looking down to see where he is. That's how he gets his distance. That's how he gets his timing. So I agree with you. I think people who say stuff like that are dumb. They don't really know much about the sport. But I take it then you're taking Garcia in this fight.
Yeah, and easy. Like it'll be like a standoff for a little bit for like first, maybe the second round too, but after that, it's gonna be like Danny punches. Like I don't see how anybody, especially the odd makers, don't see this. Danny punches while you're punching.
Yep.
You have to be a sharp puncher to beat him. Either sharp or extremely awkward and be able to take shit to beat him, which Herrera was, which Lamont Peterson was.
Yep.
Keith Thurman's not that guy. You see those big shots coming. You see those coming. So when he throws one of them, Danny's throwing, and his are going to be sharper. And he's going to get clipped, and he's going to get hit with body shots in the middle of that stuff, and it's not going to turn out well for him.
I think
he's going to have to get on his bike and lose the fight that way, or get knocked out.
That's a convincing argument. I think. Well, before I say go, Dennis, I want to hear what you think, and then I kind of want to have some more dialogue. But Dennis, what are your takes on the fight?
Me, I'm going with Thurman, and the reason I'm going to go with Thurman is because we see Danny have problems with the boxers that can move. We seen this with Lamar Peterson. Only problem with Lamar Peterson, he just waited too late to do what he was doing.
Yeah.
If Lamar Peterson had started doing what he's doing right away, he would have jumped on him right away. He would have won that fight clear. And I think one time, I think Thurman knows. I think he knows that Danny is this type of caliber of fighter. He's not going to go in there and hit Danny with stuff and knock him out of there. I think he knows he has to go in there and be smart and execute a game plan by not getting hit by Danny and make sure, because everybody knows Danny timing is impeccable. So he needs to go in there and knowing he can't get drawn into some firefight, because if he do that and he try to throw those big bombs, he's going to get caught with something in return, and it's going to be ugly for him. And we've seen Thurman get rocked. We've seen him get hurt with I forget the guy that
It was Collazo with the body punch.
Yeah, not Collazo, but he got hit with a shot to the face.
Soto Carras. Soto Carras hurt him.
Soto Carras rocked him with a shot to the face. So we know Thurman can be hurt.
Yeah.
And Danny got some power. But my thing is, can Danny hurt a guy at 47? We know he do that at 40. But can Danny hurt a big, strong welterweight like Keith Thurman at 47? Now that's what I want to know too.
Yeah.
Did you hear what you said? There's two things that you just said that proves my point. I mean, not to say, hey, anything can happen in a fight, but they further make what I'm saying closer to being true. What you said is Soto Carras, not Danny Garcia. Soto Carras hit him. This period, the fact that he hit him, like he hit him, like he hit him. I'm gonna talk to you like a preacher. He hit him, then hurt him. That's what he did. He hit him and hurt him. Not Danny Garcia. Soto Carras. Soto Carras did this. All right. And another thing. You compared Thurman's boxing skills to Lamont Peterson's boxing skills, which is like a slap in the face to Lamont Peterson. Like, it's a total, like, let them two fight. And you'll see exactly how inept his boxing ability is. Like, he'll have to go out there and try to bomb. Like, that's his only chance. There's no way he's boxing with him. Like, he can't box against a consummate boxer. A guy that has know-how. He's not done that. Like, he can't.
Well, he moved
around. He moved around on Collazo. Collazo's a little bit older. Like, he doesn't want to move around. He wants to sit in the pocket and fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Collazo just will fight as he proved. You know what I mean? But he doesn't want to do that. You know what I mean? So that's how he got over in that fight. And in his power. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with Sean Porter, like, he couldn't even, like, I mean, he couldn't outbox Sean Porter. Like he tried, but it didn't work. That's because he's not that good at.
To be fair, there's not many people that are gonna outbox Porter though.
Okay, but not like he did boxer.
Yeah, I see.
Control.
Yeah. I see where you're going. You don't think I don't necessarily think that highly of Thurman's skills. My logic to this, or his boxing skills per se. My logic to this is that the fighters that have troubled Danny, there's a game plan on how to beat him. It's use your lateral movement. It's flick that jab out there. It's throw punches at times where Danny cannot time you. And I think Thurman can follow that game plan. I think he has the skill set to follow that. Because Danny coming forward isn't all that great. Danny looks great when you stand in front of him, or if he gets to use his lateral movement. His footwork isn't bad when he has to move. We saw it against Matisse. We saw it against Judah. We saw it against, who am I blanking on? I mean, we've seen it before with him, where when he's on his back foot, he's at his best because he's a counter puncher. But I think Thurman's gonna make him come forward, and when he has to come forward, he didn't look all that great. I mean, we saw him come forward against Paulie, but Paulie didn't have the power to keep someone like Garcia off him. Garcia's eating shots from Lucas Matisse. You know what I mean? And not getting hurt. So Paulie didn't have anything to offer him. That's my logic going in. But that being said, you have valid points because the way that Danny can beat him, and if he's going to beat him, it's going to be by timing him that well, because Thurman can get wild. He can tend to leap in. So if Danny can time him leaping in, he can knock him out. For sure, that's a complete possibility. That's, you know what I mean. That's probably a high possibility if Danny is going to win.
I don't know that though. That's my only point. I don't know if Danny, we know Danny got power. We've seen Danny knock people out, but I don't know if Danny can do that. Even though Thurman, like I said, we seen Thurman be hurt, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Even though we seeing that, I don't know if Danny is there yet. Is he? He may be, and I may be wrong, but I don't know. But that's the question they're gonna be asked. Is he there yet at 147? Can he hurt him? Can he knock him out?
Anybody could be hurt. Anybody could be hurt.
I agree. But
That's what I'm saying. Can he knock out a Keith Thurman? Could Danny Garcia knock out Keith Thurman at a real welterweight?
They built them up. It doesn't matter. I'm a 40-pounder. I guarantee I can hurt Keith Thurman. I hit him with the right shot. He's hurt.
Fair enough.
I'm not listed as, a big puncher, but I mean, I've pretty much hurt everybody I've been in the ring with. You know what I mean? I clip you with a left hook, and you're gonna be hurt. You know what I mean? And Danny, I would say, is probably a bigger puncher than me. I would say he's a bigger puncher than I am.
Yeah.
So I definitely know he can hurt him.
No, fair enough. I do wait. I want to get all of our takes. I want to break down the fight. So let's talk about power. I'll go first. I think Thurman has more power, whether that be one-shot power or the type of power that can break you down, than Danny. Dennis, what do you think? Who has more power in this fight?
I think Thurman is. I think, like you say, Danny moved, even though he was having trouble with the weight, Danny moved up to 147. Keith Thurman was fighting at 154 and moved down to 147.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it like Thurman is the bigger, stronger guy.
Yeah, but Danny also in the amateurs. I remember Nazem used to talk about it. Nazem Richardson used to talk about it all the time. He used to walk around like he didn't know how he got down to 132 for those tournaments. He would walk around at 160.
Yeah.
He was walking around at 160, and he had to get down the next day, or a couple of days. He had to get down to 32 for the tournament. He didn't know how he did it, but he did it, and he was cracking them too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not like a small dude. You know how the Spanish fighters be eating and stuff. He's 65. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
Period. I'm a 40-pounder. I've been out for a little over a year. I'm probably 160, 165 right now. I'm Golovkin weight right now.
Yeah. No, for sure. Let's talk about ring IQ. Dennis, who do you think has the better ring IQ between the two?
Better ring IQ. I think Danny. Danny has with his experience. Danny, that's the thing. Danny is a lot smarter than people give him credit for.
Yeah.
That I can't say. He's a lot smarter. He's excellent at timing and throwing punches when you're throwing punches. That's how he's knocking guys out, and he's catching them. Like Amir Khan, he caught him right when he was throwing.
Yeah.
He was getting too wild, and he got him out of there. Danny ring IQ, I give it to him. I think Thurman is a smart guy. I don't think he's a dummy by any measure, but I think if I had to give experience measure, I think Danny ring IQ may be a little bit better.
I agree. You took all my points. I think Danny has the higher IQ here. Steve, what do you think?
He definitely has a higher IQ. Because I'm not a big fan of Thurman, but he's smart. This guy, some other people just connect to him. You get tell that his camp, older guys in his camp that are saying this stuff, so it makes him sound smart. You know what I mean? It's he's repeating it, so it makes him sound smart. But he says a lot of is not gonna knock me out. Like, how smart is that? Like really? Like, who says that? Look at.
Mom, let's just start with please.
Look at. Let me see. I won't mention his name. Let me see. Look at anybody. Like any of those guys along those lines, and then look at Keith Thurman film. You'll see a big difference than what like it hyped you up. Like what's been hyped up. Oh, he's a boxer puncher. He's not. They put him in there with guys that you can box, that you can box, and you have to box.
Yeah.
You have to, unless you're short and stocky like
No,
that. Even
Mom,
if
I
you're
used to
short,
I guess the whole thing goes punch, and you know what else?
yeah, and he knows that. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
He's gonna look like a boxer.
I think. Yeah, I think what you're confusing, and because I agree with you. If you look at other boxers, there are better boxers than him, like pure boxing skill. I don't think he's a pure boxer. I don't even think he's a boxer puncher. He's shown that in fights that, like you said, that he's had to. But the fights that showed me who we really were the Porter fight, the Collazo fight, where if he could have stood on the outside against Collazo, he would have never got hurt. But he likes to mix it up. He's a brawler. Let's just call it what it is. He's an absolute brawler. But with that being said, I think, yeah, but that to me, to my point, is he boxes against guys he has to box against. And I think this is a guy he has to box against. I think he knows if he brawls too much, he will get caught. Danny might be the best in the sport at throwing while you're throwing, and I think he knows that. That's just me. You could be right. The thing, I'll tell you this, the thing that scares me about Steve right now is that anytime I've ever asked him about a fight, he's been dead on about a fight. I remember the one off the top of my head that I remember, it was Canelo and Kirkland, and I was like, oh man, this is going to be a great fight. I messaged Steve, I'm like, bro, what do you think? He was like, Canelo's going to get him out of there before 5. I was like, you really think so? That easy? He was like, yes, it's going to be an easy fight. Sure enough, Canelo beat the hell out of him. Got him out of there in the second, third round.
I knew that was going to be target practice. That didn't even take that much knowledge. Like,
no, it
didn't take that much. Yeah, like I didn't have really any doubts about it.
Yeah.
This, I have a little more doubts. I have way more doubts about this than that.
Oh, for sure.
Right there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you got. I think what made that fight easier to call is that Kirkland has never really had a great chin, and we knew Canelo could punch at 154, or I think they fought at 155.
Defense isn't great. Like he can
right.
give it, he can take what he give, and he has to take what he can give. Like just like ran right over again.
Yeah.
Run over Canelo. That wasn't why.
Yeah. No, for sure. So let's talk. What about footwork? Because I think this is a hard one to call between the two. Because to me, like I said, Danny coming forward, he's flat-footed coming forward. But when he gets to use his lateral movement, when he gets you in the center of the ring, he uses angles. He creates angles with his feet that are beautiful, but he just can't seem to do that coming forward. But to me, Danny. But with Keith, when he comes forward, he looks solid. When he goes backwards, he only seems to circle in one direction. He can't go both directions, so I feel like he's a little easier to cut off than certain fighters who use lateral movement. So to me, there's kind of a standoff there. I think the fight is going to take place more so in the center of the ring. I think the one doing a lateral movement will be Keith, but he's going to go in the same direction, and that might cost him later in the fight. So it's hard for me. For footwork, it's 50-50. I really can't pick. Dennis, what do you think when it comes to footwork?
Footwork, Keith Thurman.
You think Keith got it?
Yeah, that was Keith got it. That was Thurman right
there. That was.
Keith got it. Like certain stuff is just like, okay, like, you know what I mean? Like you think about it with this one, Keith got that one. Like Danny got a lot of things, but his footwork is one of those things that needs work, like you said, especially when he's coming forward.
Yeah.
Not so much backing up, but coming forward. his footwork needs a little work. He's definitely not swift of the foot coming forward.
Yeah, for sure. Steve, what do you think? Footwork.
I'm going with Danny. Like, he makes the moves that you have to make. Makes the moves that he needs to make. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Thurman can move around the ring, and you don't see that have to move around the ring like that. He doesn't want to move around the ring like that. I guarantee you he knows how. Like, but he doesn't want to.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to.
So, Steve, I think, has disagreed with me on everything. So I want to know his opinion on this too. Dennis, yours as well. Let's talk about hand speed. Who has the faster hands amongst the two? Because I think Danny has much better timing. I think that's clear. But I think Keith might have a little bit faster hands. Neither of them throw combinations, though. Neither of them are really combination fighters. I think Danny throws a few more. I mean, he throws more combos than Keith does. So I think it's making it harder for me. It's easier to throw one shot fast. It's harder to throw multiple shots fast. But I'm edging Keith. Dennis, what do you think? Let's go, Dennis, and then we'll throw it to you, Steve. What do you think about hand speed?
Hand speed?
Yeah.
Hand speed, I think Thurman. I think Thurman has the faster hand speed, but Danny is more accurate. Because Danny doesn't throw a lot of shots that are wasted.
Yeah,
He
he's economical.
He nails you right on the button with his shots.
For sure. Steve, hand speed.
That's Danny. Like, that's why it's so easy for me to pick this. That's why it's so easy for me to pick this, because I mean, what is there that Keith could do better than Danny? I don't see anything other than maybe he could punch harder. Maybe. I don't know. I see him load up a lot, which will go against him. I wholeheartedly believe that's the worst thing for him, is to try to load up on something, because you see it coming.
Yeah.
You see it coming, and he's going to get countered. Going to get countered with a quick shot. Like Danny, that left hook right hand, like the combination's quick. You know, that's one of the quickest ones that there is, and that's his thing. And I just see him catching Keith with that. Whether it gets him out of there or not, or puts him on his bike, Keith's not winning the fight.
I can feel that.
Different pedigree there. It's a different pedigree of fighters. The
more we break this down, Steve is just making me doubt my logic. But we're gonna keep going. Let's talk about experience. I think this is an easy one. I mean, we don't even have to delve deep. Do we all think Danny? I think Danny has the edge in experience. I think that's clear. Dennis, you got Danny with experience?
Yeah.
Steve, experience. I mean, this is an easy one.
Yeah, that's the easy.
Okay, that's easy. So we all got then. We don't even have to dive into that one. So I do want to talk about the intangibles. So that's however you really take them, like chin, heart, stamina. Who has the edge? We want to talk about just heart?
Yeah, who got the whole heart?
I probably gotta go Danny. I'll go Danny with heart. I'll go Danny with heart. He stood toe to toe. He stood toe to toe with a monster, and Lucas at 140 at that time was a monster, and he stood toe to toe with him for most of that fight. I gotta give it to him for that.
And Amir Khan, people.
Yeah, and Amir Khan.
He took everything that Amir Khan had to give. It kept coming forward and was bombing him. He was hitting Amir Khan in the middle of that stuff too.
Yeah, he was.
He clipped him with that perfect shot and got him right out of there.
Yeah, Dennis, what do you think about Hart?
For Hart, slightly Danny, because Thurman showed me something with Porter. Cause like I said, he showed me that he can get hit with some bombs, because he got hit with some bombs on that Porter fight. Yeah. And he showed me he can get hit with some good tough stuff, and he can continue to fight, and he can continue to grind and dig it out. Because after that he could have ran, but he didn't. He said, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. So that's why I give Thurman Hart, but I think Danny, I slightly give Danny the favor in Hart.
I don't question his heart, but it's easy to have heart with somebody that you know you can hit. You know you can hit Porter. Porter doesn't care about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he has confidence. Like, Thurman has confidence in his power. So if he can hit you, he has confidence that he can get you out of there. That's what kept him in that fight, was the fact that he knows he's going to be able to hit Porter.
But Porter was a dog on him that fight. He was a dog on him.
Yeah, he
you know
was.
what I mean? Like and that showed me like, oh wow. It was times I thought he was gonna break Thurman. You know what I mean? Because he was relentless. He was with a good shot and he would run right back at him.
Why would you quit on somebody that you know that you can hit and you feel like you can beat? Why would
if you can't take what they giving you? Because like he was on him, so like, but and like that's what I'm saying. I would look, and he cracked Porter, right? And Porter knee buckled. When his knee buckled, he buckled, and then Porter came right back like it never happened and started cracking him. And I was like, geez, he has no quit in him. And that right there, that showed me like, yo, he got some heart.
But look at Danny and Khan. I'm gonna go back to that fight. He was the big underdog. They threw him in that fight. He was supposed to be a stepping stone, another stepping stone, a keep busy fight for Khan. Khan came out and did what everybody thought was going to happen. But before the fight, I demonstrated exactly what could happen. I was like, man, I want Danny to win so bad. Me and Eddie sat there and watched it in our living room. We sat there and watched it in our living room. And I'm like, right before the bell rang, probably like 10 seconds before the bell rang, I'm like, but you know what? I see Danny might clip him. Like, Khan runs forward, throwing those punches, and he might get clipped with a check hook. And I demonstrated it, and I remember I fell over the couch, and Eddie was laughing at me. And then, God damn if that hook didn't land and buckle him, and then he jumped on him after that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, wow, like, this is great. Like, I remember tears came to my eyes because I'm like, I was happy to see Danny do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Danny, I knew Danny ever since he was 13, 14 years old. Like, me and Eddie actually babysat him at Raymond Serrano. Like,
That's nuts.
That sound bad. That makes me sound old as shit.
But wait, no. But I do, because you like alluding to the Khan example, and just to play devil's advocate, because we know Khan has blazing fast hand speed, and at 140 and at 135 he had really good power. But
yeah, and that can make you quit.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Oh, I agree. I'm not talking about heart anymore. Let's just talk about the fight itself, because Khan can be predictable in his approach. He throws a lot of the same combinations, but they're just very fast, and it takes someone with good timing, even with him being predictable, it takes someone with good timing to catch him. And Danny has that. But is Keith Thurman as predictable as Amir Khan, do you think?
Does he have the speed that Amir Khan has? Is he throwing a million punches like Amir Khan does?
No,
absolutely not. That makes it less hard for Danny to have to deal with. That makes it it's less difficult for Danny to deal with.
No, I feel that.
Khan is a difficult fight for anybody.
I agree.
If Floyd was to fight him, that was a difficult fight. That's why he did not make that fight.
I agree.
Because it wasn't 100% necessary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he was like, yeah, I ain't doing that. Because if Floyd couldn't hurt him with a check hook, he was gonna lose.
I definitely.
You gotta be able to hurt him.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to hurt him to beat him.
And I agree. And the thing was, not to talk about that fight too long, but my thing had always been the way you can't outbox Floyd. There's no outboxing Floyd. You have to outwork Floyd. And Khan had that perfect style to outwork him. He throws fast. He throws sharp shots. He throws a lot of combinations. If Floyd couldn't hurt him, I don't think he was winning that fight. But Floyd might have been able to hurt him though, depending on what year it was made. He might have been able to get Khan out of there. But yeah, no, that was a bad style matchup for Floyd. I always felt.
Yeah, it was a bad. And you won't hear me say that much about Floyd.
Me neither. I agree. You won't hear that from anyone, I don't think. I'm just glad we got to agree on something before we move on. So we agreed that Khan was a bad style.
Like, look at one more thing. Look at Devin Alexander and Amir Khan's fight. Now, everybody's seen Amir Khan hitting Devin Alexander with all those punches, right?
Yeah.
But in almost all of the exchanges, Devin Alexander landed that check right hook.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's left-handed.
Because he's left-handed, yeah.
He landed it, but it wasn't enough to hurt Khan. But if it was enough to hurt Khan, he hit him right on the button.
Yeah.
Almost every time. If you go back to it, Khan's going boom, 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 boom. That right hook was coming.
Yeah.
He got hit with the check hook all the time, but it wasn't enough to hurt him, so it didn't make a difference. Khan's always going to get hit with that shot. He's always going to get hit with that shot. It's just a matter of if you can hurt him or not.
Oh, I agree.
If you can't, you got a long night.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
We're short.
Oh, or short, yeah, for sure. So moving on, I think we can talk about their chins. I think Danny has the better chin, and not that I've seen Keith hurt very often, but I've never seen Danny get hurt, and he's been in there with vicious punchers. I think the one time I saw him get buzzed was against Zab Judah. I think it was like the 10th round, if I'm remembering that correct. But that to me was more Danny was exhausted. It didn't seem like his conditioning is where it needed to be because the shot that caught him wasn't that hard. It just seemed like he was tired at that point, and he got caught with a good left hand, and then he got hurt. But we've seen Thurman get rattled a little bit. We saw Porter buckle his knees. We saw Soto Carras hurt him, and we saw Collazo hurt him to the body. Even though that's not your chin, but your ability to withstand a punch. I think Danny gets that. To me, that's a fairly easy one though. Dennis, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Steve,
I agree. I've seen Danny get hurt. He got hurt when he fought Theophane. When he fought Theophane,
I forgot about that fight. You're right.
That was another one of those fights where it was like, whoa, like that could have went the other way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it went Danny's way, which was the right thing. I mean, it could have went either way. You know what I mean? So they got it right either way. But it went Danny's way, so it was right. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But he got buzzed a couple times, but he plays it off. He knows how to play it off, keep his poker face on, and go right back at you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the sign of a champion.
Yeah, for sure. So we could wrap it up with our picks. We said it at first, but if they came this far after all this, I'm not gonna lie. I was very confident going into this podcast about my Keith Thurman pick. I am no longer as confident, but I can't switch. I gotta stick on my boy one time here. I'm gonna go Keith Thurman 115-113. Maybe even a split decision. I think it's gonna be close on the cards. I think Keith's gonna get the nod. Dennis, after being disagreed with on everything, are you staying?
I have to stay. I'm stubborn like that.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm gonna give one time the unanimous decision, and it's going to be a close fight, and this is going to be a fight that's going to be controversial. There are going to be people that's going to say, no, he didn't win, and it's going to be one of those type of fights, I believe. But I believe that Thurman gets it.
Steve, we know you're picking your boy Danny, but wrap it up. Give us the reasons why.
And then even if it was a close decision, Thurman's not going to get that. Do y'all realize who Danny is? Like, they were trying to make a Danny and Floyd fight. Do you realize that? Like Thurman will be okay. He'll still be marketable with the loss. Danny, not so much. Because now that deflates all that he's built up all of these years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing I can't say. Judges love Danny and Canelo.
Not only the judges, the promoters. Like the judges work for the promoter, but it's like they can't do as much with Danny with a loss up there. You know what I mean? Unless he really loses. You know what I mean? Then you got a star in Keith Thurman. So you got a superstar in Keith Thurman.
Yeah.
But I just don't see it being that kind of a fight. Like, I see it being a fight where Keith Thurman will be trying to fight him off. You know what I mean? But I just don't see him. He's gonna be pushed to the point where he's gonna try to throw one of those big shots to keep him off of him, and that's gonna be the worst thing that he tries to do.
So are you going knockout?
It's hard for me to ever pick knockouts. Like, unless it's like a fight like a Kirkland and Canelo where I knew that was going to be a knockout.
Right.
Or, like, I can't go knockout. I can't go knockout.
But convincing, but you're going convincing win for Danny.
Yeah, dominant decision.
Man. Steve, I swear to God, if you're right, I'm never having you on this podcast again. Not that if you're right that Danny wins, because I do. It's still 50-50 to me, but I pick Thurman. But if you're right and he wins in dominating fashion, I'm going to talk to you before every fight and just use every one of your points on this podcast. I will no longer be using my own thoughts. Because, you're convincing, though. Because my thing is, I just think you like Danny a little bit more than I do. Because every point that you've made, I didn't necessarily disagree with, but I just don't think it's going to play out to that degree. Does that make sense? I don't know if I worded that right. Like, I think he can... I think he can time him. I think he's gonna hit him with big shots, but I think it's not gonna be as often as you do. But we agreed to a degree. I just think Thurman's gonna win. That's the biggest thing we don't agree on.
And look at the demeanor in the fighters. You can see the level of comfortability at this level.
Yeah.
It's the first time. This is the first time, other than the Porter fight, that Keith Thurman has fought somebody, like a real somebody. Porter was the only. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna disrespect Collazo like that, but Collazo is not the same Collazo that he was when I fought him in 2011.
Agreed. Even though he just picked up a good win, though. He picked up a good win against Sammy Vasquez.
Yeah, he did. Like it was a different kind of a fight. Different fighters. Styles make fights.
Oh, for sure.
And definitely not. Like, it was not good for Sammy.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, he should have used his speed and his legs. You know, even though he's not that young, he should have still used his speed and his legs. He's young compared to Collazo. He should use his speed and his legs. Don't stand there with him, because you don't know how to really fight him and that like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't brought up in a Philly or a New York like that, you know what I mean? That
right.
You know how to dig and sit in the inside, or even like a Detroit or the Crump, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He wasn't brought up in something like that. That he knows how to just sit inside and shrug a little bit and like turn little shots in there, like Collazo was doing. Like, he was standing there, he thought that was okay, because that's what he's been allowed to do. You know, being from Pittsburgh,
right,
and then being out there with an Olympic coach or whatever, or an amateur coach. You know what I mean? There's not a whole lot of pro experience there. Like, it's a whole different animal in the pros.
Oh, for sure.
And like, you can just see little things that like Sammy was just standing there, and that Collazo was like nudging him to the side a little bit, then cracking a little shot. You know, like touching a little shot here, touching a little shot here. Just little things he was doing to him. I'm just like, man. And then he ended up, he nudged him back a little bit and threw that left, then the right, and it was good night, Irene.
Yeah.
Like, it was sad to watch. Like, I hope that Sammy changes his team. Now, I'm not one that always like blames it on the coaches or any of that, and I'm not blaming it on them now. I'm just saying he has to get a new team.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Or I don't feel like he can come back from that. Not with that team. He's been doing the same thing for like the last 10 fights.
Yeah.
There's been no progression there.
We heard it all. We heard it from me, Frank. We heard it from Steve Upsher. So far, we got Thurman, a possible Thurman. Frank, he's not sure anymore. Danny Garcia. Well, this is what we want you to do, guys. Like this, share this, and tell us in the comments who you guys think gonna win. Who you got, Danny or Thurman? Let us know, because we're interested in hearing it, and we'll share our comments with you back. Thank you, everybody. God bless. Have a good one.